Hi everyone, it is currently the 3rd of January. I am back in work after the Christmas break and I felt like starting a new weekly reading vlog, so here we are. I wasn't sure if I did want to vlog this week just because I already have so many videos that I need to film as part of my end of year content series, but I miss vlogging and I thought this might be quite a fun vlog to do alongside all of the other content that I'm filming, because hopefully this is going to be a nice chill vlog. I'm feeling like that's what I need for the start of the year. I need just some chill reading vibes and there is actually a theme for this week's vlog. I am trying to catch up on my Goldsboro books because I've been subscribed to Goldsboro's Sci-Fi Fantasy Fellowship, almost forgot the name then. I've been a Goldsboro subscriber since August 2022 and I haven't read any of their books yet, so that is the plan for this week, is to try and catch up and read those books, because I did skip the January book with the idea that I would try and catch up this month. So I made a start on Lost in Time last night, which for anyone who wants to see, that is the cover. This is a sci-fi thriller and it was also the first book that I got from Goldsboro, so it seemed like a good idea to start with this one. But yeah, like I said, I'm over 100 pages into this now and it is so fast paced. I'm reading it really quickly and I think it's because it's quite a simple writing style. I don't feel that connected to any of the characters. I don't feel like they're particularly well developed, but I am intrigued by the mystery. We're following this main character called Sam, who's a scientist, and he was part of this team that created this machine called Absalom, which has the ability to throw people back in time. So it's being used with criminals. So crime has mostly been eradicated because people know that if they're convicted, one of the punishments that they could get is to go in this machine and it throws them back in time to the age of the dinosaurs. At the start of the book, Sam and his 19-year-old daughter, Adeline, I think is her name, are accused of murdering one of his colleagues who he's also been in a relationship with. One of the reasons why I like science fiction that has a more contemporary setting is because it often has some sort of social commentary, and I'm really hoping that this book delves deeper into the way that this invention has affected society. It has talked about it a little bit, but I'm hoping we get more of that because I'm really intrigued about that, and I'm also intrigued about this mystery as well. Hopefully it'll have some really good twists and turns, but yeah, I'm hoping I can get through a good chunk of this tonight. I reckon I could easily get to the halfway point because I read those first 130 pages really quickly last night. I don't really have a lot else planned this week. It is my sister's birthday at the weekend, so I'm probably going to be doing something with my family, but I'm also joining Ashley for sprints on her channel on Saturday, which I'm really looking forward to. I reckon I can finish this before then, and then I might pick up another one of my Goldsboro books, or I might just go rogue and decide to do a mood read. We'll see how I'm feeling, but yeah, welcome to the vlog. I will catch up with you when I have some more reading updates on this, and can I just say the sprayed edges on this are absolutely stunning. Every time I look at it, it makes me smile. So I am now around halfway through Lost in Time and I have some bad news because I'm not really enjoying this as much as I was expecting, and the thing is that I like the plot, I just don't like the way that it's being executed. It's so fast paced that whenever there's moments where I can tell I'm meant to be feeling tense or I'm meant to be feeling suspense, but I'm just not feeling that. I'm just not feeling anything towards this. Whenever something important happens, by the time my brain has registered it, we've already moved on to the next thing. So I'm really sad that I'm not enjoying this as much as I was expecting to. However, I do have a feeling that I'm possibly going to enjoy the second half a lot more. The way that I would describe this book is that it's mostly a murder mystery, but then we're also following this main character who's trapped in time, and I want to feel like I'm there with this character and I'm experiencing everything that they're experiencing, but it's almost like I'm on the outside watching them. There's very little atmosphere that I can feel, and it's not that it's bad. I think it's just that it's not what I want it to be. There's also been some plot conveniences that have made me a little bit annoyed, but I'm hoping that things do pick up in the second half. This book is one of the reasons why I love doing reading vlogs, because I think it was pretty obvious that I wasn't really enjoying this book at the halfway point, but I've just read another 100-ish pages and everything has changed in this second half. I really love the direction that this is going in, and it feels like a completely different book. I actually think that if I was to go back now and reread that first half, I would enjoy it a lot more, and so I'm feeling really conflicted because obviously I've not finished it yet, so the ending might be horrible, but I have no idea what I'm going to rate this, because at the halfway point it was like a 2 stars, maybe like a 2.5, but now it's given me 4 or 5 star feelings. So yeah, this has been an interesting first book to start the year with. Happy Thursday. I am here with some reading updates, but before then I realised I never actually mentioned in this vlog that we've been redoing the library this week. I call it a library. We've been redoing the bookcase room. Is that what I want to call it? Basically, we bought a new bookcase on, was it the 2nd of January? So previously we just had these 3 or 4, there's 4 bookcases behind me, which is what I usually use to film in front of. However, because the lighting is best right in front of the window, I realised that most of my books were further down on the other end of the room. So we've switched things around, and then we've also created a new sci-fi bookshelf, which has mostly got my partner's books on. We also had to attach the bookcases to the wall because we hadn't done that, and I was getting nervous that they were going to fall on me at some point. So yeah, really happy with how this room is starting to look. I'm feeling more motivated to film. I still have like 3 videos that I need to film this weekend as part of my end of year content series, so it's nice to have a new background to film in front of. I'm feeling good about it. But I did want to also tell you about Lost in Time, because I finished this last night. I think I finished it around midnight because I could not put this down towards the end, and I still stand by what I said about the beginning of this book, because I really struggled with it in the beginning. The characters felt quite flat and I just wasn't connecting with it. However, the second half of this was a real page turner, and I think I would recommend this more for the mystery. From the description and from the front cover, it sounds like this is going to be a book about dinosaurs, and it's not a book about dinosaurs. I had seen a few reviews beforehand, which I'm really glad about because I felt like I was more prepared, but the dinosaur aspect of this story is quite small in comparison to the wider book. I would describe this as a time travel mystery. So if you like books where there's discussions about time travel and where there's a really interesting mystery, then I would recommend this. It was really fast paced. The chapters are really short and snappy, and it had some really interesting twists and turns. It felt like an adventure movie, and I think it's the kind of book that I needed to read to start the year off, because I did read it so quickly and it wasn't what I was expecting, and I like that. I like it when a book surprises me. So yeah, I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend it, but I think if you have been interested in this book, then I wouldn't put anyone off from reading it. If anything, I'd say stick with it if you don't like the beginning, because everything changes in the second half. I think I'm going to give it like a 3 stars. It came out as a 3 or a 3.5 stars in Core Pile. I don't know what I want to read next. next, I was thinking about picking up Mind Walker, which I have right here actually, because this was the September book for Goldsboro and it's really short, so I'm hoping I could finish this within a couple of days, but I don't know if I'm in the mood for more sci-fi. I need to have a think about it because I'm also reading Fool's Errand by Robin Hobb at the moment. I'm about 20% into the audiobook and I could read that physically but listen along to the audiobook at the same time, and it'll help me get through it quicker because it's going really slow at the moment. I'm enjoying it, kind of, but it's taken me a while to get through, and I feel like I would enjoy it more if I was reading it quicker, and listening to the audiobook while reading physically would help with that. So yeah, no idea what I want to read next, but you know what? That is the theme for this vlog. This vlog is just going to be catching up on my Goldsboro books and reading what I want to start the year with. So I wasn't planning on taking part in any readathons in January. However, I recently came across a readathon called The Great Bookish TBR Off, which is hosted by Catherine, Siobhan, Danny and Katie. I'll leave all the details in the description if you want to find out more, but is this not the best name for a readathon ever? I love the Great British Bake Off, so I feel like I should try and take part in this readathon. The prompts seem quite easy. I mean, it seems like it would be easy for me to fulfill the prompts using the books that I was already planning on reading this month. So one of the prompts is to read a book that you were meant to read in 2022. So I'm going to use Lost in Time for that because it is a book that I should have read last year. Another prompt is to continue a series, so I'm going to use Fool's Errand for that because it's book 7 in the realm of the Outlandings. And then for a book outside your comfort zone, I could use Mind Walker because I literally can't remember the last time I read a YA sci-fi. I love how every time I plan to have a chilled reader month, I end up wanting to take part in all of the readathons and I want to read all of the books. So yeah, we'll see how things go. We're 5 days into the month now and I've read one book, but I'm happy with that pace. I feel like as long as I'm continuing with that pace, then it's going to be a good reading month. So there's been a change of plan because I realised that Mind Walker is the first book in a series and the second book doesn't come out until later this year, but I don't want to be starting any new series right now, and especially series that aren't even complete. So I decided instead to pick up The Sword of Kaigen by Wang. So this isn't on my January TBR. I'm going a little bit rogue, but I've heard amazing things about this. I think everyone I know who's read it has enjoyed it. I think I read the first 100 pages last night and I'm really intrigued so far. I really like the characters. It's not super fast paced or anything because it is very character driven, but it's very compelling. I feel like the author is doing a really good job of making me feel invested in these characters. So basically what this book is about is this community of warrior families who live in this peninsula right at the tip of this empire, and their job essentially is to protect this empire from invasions. So we're following two characters. We're following this woman who's married into one of the main warrior families of this community and her 14-year-old son who's training at this academy to be a fighter. Most of the people within this community have never left the region. However, this new boy has just moved to town and he's starting to raise questions around what the people of this community believe and especially what's being taught in this military school. The magic system is also really intriguing because it's all to do with ice weapons, or I think these people can conjure weapons made of ice from the atmosphere. It's really interesting. I'm really enjoying this so far and I'm really excited to continue. I am going to read some more of this evening and then I can hopefully maybe not finish it tomorrow, but I'm hoping to get a good chunk of this read during sprints tomorrow. So I am just on sprints on Ashley's channel. We've got around 5 minutes left of this last sprint sprint, but I thought I would quickly update you with my thoughts on The Sword of Kaigen because I'm now around a third of the way through this. I am reading it on my Kindle because the paperback is quite chunky, but I am loving this so much. It's the kind of book where every time I pick it up, I feel anxious because it's so intense and it's so character driven. It is quite slow in terms of it's taken a while for the plot to develop, but the character development has been fantastic so far. I've seen people compare this to the Poppy War series, and I can kind of understand why, because it's got a magic school and there's a lot of training montages. I've also seen people compare this to the Greenbone Saga by Fonda Lee, and again, I can kind of see why, because there's a big focus on family and family relationships and just the dialogue between these characters. It's been so good. It's really well written. I can't wait to carry on reading this. I am hoping to get to the halfway point today, and then yeah, I'll just update you with my thoughts as I'm reading because I am loving this and I have a feeling it's going to break my heart. I feel like we've been building up to something and I'm scared because I do feel really attached to these characters and I just love the writing. This is exactly what I want to be reading right now because it feels very immersive and emotional, and I think this could be a 5 stars. It's only the second book of 2023, but already I feel like I might have found a new favourite. I don't know. I probably shouldn't say that just in case it ends up disappointing me, but yeah, really happy that I decided to spontaneously pick this up because I'm loving it. I realised I forgot to update the vlog yesterday, so apologies for that. I went into town for breakfast yesterday morning, and then I didn't really read much in the afternoon and evening because I was filming and editing. However, I am now around 60% of the way through The Sword of Kaigen, and I am loving this book. The way that the author is writing emotion feels so deep and raw, and I have cried quite a few times while reading this. I think that Misaki is going to be one of my new favourite characters. I think that her character development has been so beautifully written, and the way that you see all of the different layers to her character, I just think it's fantastic. I also really love the world building, so something that I personally prefer when it comes to world building is I would rather learn as the characters are learning, or I'd rather learn things gradually. I want to know enough to be able to follow what's happening, but I don't want to know too much, or I don't want to know so much that it feels overwhelming. Like with this book, I get the impression that there's more to this world than I know. However, I'm okay with that because I know what I need to know. It makes it feel immersive and I still have questions, but I'm getting the answers to those questions in a natural way. It's not like info dumping. A lot of very intense stuff has happened within the last few chapters, so I'm taking this steady. I don't want to race through this, even though I think it would be easy for me to do that. It's very deep and emotional, and I want to appreciate that. I want to sit with the characters for a while and not feel like I'm rushing it, because it's not that kind of book. It It has been a few days since I last updated this vlog, but I have now finished The Sword of Kaigen by Wang, and I'm giving it 5 stars. I didn't think that it was perfect, and I'll come on to my criticisms in a minute, but I loved the setting of this and how immersive it felt. I felt like I was there on this mountain in this very snowy and icy climate. I am using this for a readathon prompt. I can't remember exactly what the prompt is, but I think it's to do with reading a book that's got a winter setting or that's set in a cold place, and this definitely fits that. Would also recommend this if you like elemental magic. I thought the magic system in this was really interesting, and I really liked the world building. The only thing I didn't love was towards the end, I felt like this was setting up for another book, and I do know that this is a standalone prequel to another series. I think it's a companion novel. I don't think the author is actually writing in that series anymore, but I think there's 2 other books that have been published in this world, and I could tell towards the end of this that there was a lot of setup, and I don't think it was needed. I felt like it dragged the pace down quite a lot. However, what I did love was how this isn't just about the climax of the story, it's also about what happens after that. And it was, yeah, really unique in my opinion. I don't think I've read many, if any, books that deal with that in this much detail. Content warnings for sexual assault and also miscarriage. There are discussions around that throughout the book. So yeah, it is something that I wanted to mention if you are interested in this. I would really recommend this. I'm so glad that I've got a 5-star already in 2023, because something similar happened last year where I'm pretty sure either the first or second book that I read ended up being one of my favourite books of the year, and I do think that this is going to be a favourite of the year. I don't think it's going to be the favourite of the year though. I think, yeah, because of the issues that I had with the ending, it did kind of spoil it a little bit for me, but not enough that I wanted to bump any stars off. I'm still going to give this 5 stars. Otherwise though, I think I'm going to end the reading vlog here. I am still reading Fool's Errand. I think I'm nearly halfway through now, and I am enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I was expecting, considering that this is following Fitz, and I didn't love the first trilogy in the Realm of the Outlands. I'm really appreciating Robin Hobb's character development. Even though I don't love Fitz as a main character, I do appreciate the way that he's been written. Hoping to finish that this weekend because I'm driving to see a friend in Liverpool, so I've got quite a long journey there and back, so I should be able to almost finish it if I don't actually finish it. But yeah, I'm gonna wrap the reading vlog a bit here. This vlog ended up taking longer than I was expecting, but I feel like this has been a good start to the year. I've had a 5-star and also a book that I did enjoy. I know that I was quite negative about Lost in Time at the time, but the more I think on it, the more I appreciate it for what it was. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap things up here. Let me know in the comments if you've read either of the books that I talked about in this video, or let me know how your reading is going so far in 2023. Have you had any 5 stars yet? Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and click subscribe if you would like to see more videos from me, but otherwise I will see you next time. Bye.